All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vays. This is going to be a very quick show because I just got a lot of stuff to do. And I don't have good Wi-Fi at this hotel. So therefore, I'm on a hotspot and I'm going to run out of data before my cycle ends. Therefore, we are going straight to the chart. I'm going to stay away from politics today. I also haven't had time to read any updates on the situation in Ukraine and Russia. I don't know how the peace talks are going. So if I have not caught up on anything, I can't comment on anything. Okay, here we go. The weekly chart is on a little bit of a pullback. I like the fact that we closed above the 50-period moving average. This week is almost at an end. Today is already Friday. And we're holding that 50-period moving average still. The MRI is bullish. We are above both moving averages. That's bullish. The SARs are bullish. We're clearly broken this channel. And we could be working on a new channel. Since we're broken this channel, there's no reason to keep that channel on there. This is a very critical line for me. I want to see us get above 52,000, sustain that close, and then we can be off to the races. On a monthly scale, however, if this loads, people are saying they came for the politics. Yeah, it's and it's gonna be so hard for me. I have a bunch of friends coming here to Panama this weekend, so we're gonna hang out and have some fun. I don't know what I'm gonna catch up. I know I've been promising you the article, but anyway, let's talk charts. Let's talk charts. Let's talk charts. This triangle, I still think is gonna struggle to break 60,000 the first time and pull back one more time. Let's talk about the important. Let's talk about important time frames. This is the Consensus chart. I restrain myself from adding more bullish positions to the 40% allocation because I anticipated a pullback. Why did I anticipate a pullback? I anticipated a pullback because today was the second consecutive MRI top. I've been talking about this MRI top for several days. This MRI top was pretty easy to identify as a pullback because it was assisted by the 200-period moving average as a resistance point, okay? So how far can this pull back? Well, I think a good area of support is between 44,000 and 44,500. I think this has a little more downside left this weekend, but it should find the bottom this weekend. So I don't expect this to go much lower. The best area of support is right here at $44,500. If we go lower than that, let me delete this line. It's not necessary. Let me delete this line. These lines are no longer necessary. We've clearly broken this horizontal channel. And now, since we did go sufficiently higher above the channel, we went above the channel almost as much as the middle of the channel. The middle of the channel was 9% for $4,000. We went up to 8.5% for 3,700. That is almost identical. So since we went up half the size of this channel, I think that is sufficiently high enough for the top of the channel to be very good, strong support. So I am looking for the support to hold. Hopefully the 128-day moving average will start to reverse soon. And once we break above the prior swing high, which is also the 200-day moving average, I think we can seriously accelerate back to the prior swing high. I'm going to delete this as well. These charts are just getting kind of cluttered, so I delete old annotations. All right, these arrows are no longer needed. It's just old stuff. Old stuff, old stuff. There you go. Okay. So therefore, on our allocation chart, I want to wait for 44,000, 44,500, and then see how it handles that area. On a 4-day chart, we can pull back a little bit harder, or we can pull back down to the $43,000 area. And I would love to buy this dip. So I would love to buy this dip between $43,000 and $44,500. Let's go to the short-term chart. Yeah, hey guys, if you want to find me this weekend in Panama, you'll probably find me at Emotions Dinner Theater. I'll probably be there Saturday night, and then off to Miami. So that's where I'll be. Lots of people there, lots of friends coming into town, so it's going to be great. And it's inside of a casino, so security is pretty high. Not much to worry about. All right, 1 hour chart. You know what we haven't looked at in a while? We haven't looked at the funding rates. Let's look at the funding rate. As you can see, the funding rate continues to accumulate in favor of the bulls, which is great. Winston, do I think Panama is friendly enough to Bitcoin for a Bitcoin citadel? The answer is yes. Panama is friendly enough. Now, Panama is on the US dollar, similar to El Salvador. And I know how El Salvador became hated by the US government. Panama is already hated by the US government because of the Panama Papers. And the rich people are no longer putting their money in Panama. So Panama lost a good revenue source, basically rich people, which is a good revenue source for your country. Dubai still has that. A new good revenue source for a country is being Bitcoin friendly, crypto friendly in general, but specifically Bitcoin friendly. That's a great revenue source. So yes, I do believe Panama, it will be, it's already pretty Bitcoin friendly. I think it'll stay that way, and I think it'll only improve. GBC premium, obviously, since the price of Bitcoin has dropped, GBC premium has dropped. Remember, guys, sooner or later, Bitcoin will start to go up exponentially. And when it does, so will this premium. Perfect MRI top in the next few days, and then premium will start rising as well. Still pretty bullish on oil. I know it's a big pullback this week, but overall, I'm still pretty bullish on oil and pretty bullish on gold. The correlation between the stock market and Bitcoin rears its ugly head again. Bitcoin on an MRI sell. The stock market was at an MRI sell. The following day it went higher, but the candle after that never went higher than the prior candle. That's why I never ever buy the candle following an MRI top, but I would buy the candle following that candle if it goes higher, which in this case it did not. We can look at the weekly chart of the stock market. And that's a bit of a reversal candle. I would hold off. But once strength comes back into the stock market, which I believe that it will, the MACD is about to cross as well on a weekly scale. I still think the stock market will go to the top of this channel, which is above 5,000 points. Let's look at the Russian ruble. The Russian ruble tells us what's going on by ignoring the propaganda on both sides. If you guys think the Western American media propaganda is the propaganda coming out of CNN is equally as bad, if not worse, than what they call Russian propaganda on Russian television. If you want a proper assessment on what's going on in the conflict, you want to watch CNN, and then you want to watch Russian television. Ideally in Russian with proper subtitles, and then you get the true both sides, right? You get to listen to the West propaganda of how well Ukraine's winning, and then you get to listen to the Russian media propaganda, if you want to call it, of how well Russia is winning, and then you try to use your brain and make an assessment where the truth is. Okay. Because if you're only listening to the US media, you are grossly uninformed on what's going on. And the amount of fake news coming out of Ukraine is honestly legendary. It is legendary. And it's a lot of it is on sources that are validated to be honest, and it's just an insane amount of lies going on there. But you will never know that they're lies because you don't listen to other media. Another source of media you want to listen to is Belarus. I know Belarus is also in the realm of Russian propaganda, but you want to listen to their news sources. They're going to be a little bit more, they're going to be less biased a little bit than Russia, but you want that news source. You want the opposite side of what CNN tells you, because CNN only lies. They only lie. CNN does not know how to tell the truth. And CNN is everywhere, everywhere. I have to like turn off. I walked into a gym at a hotel. There's CNN. I turned it off. It's just lies on everything that's happening. You can almost assume the opposite, and you will be more informed on what's actually going on the ground. Yeah, no, I'm getting messages. How dare I enjoy my life while people are dying in Ukraine? I literally got a message. Well, like, here's the worst way. Like, if you're in Ukraine, here is the worst way to get me to reply to you. And this is exactly what happened in the DM. It was, oh, it's nice that you're having fun while we're dying. And then the following message is, this is why I'm staying in Ukraine. Read my story. Can you help? And well, when your prior message is, how dare am I, trying to make business contacts and, make money to, sustain my life. How dare do I do that while Ukrainians are dying? Now, I'm sorry, guys, but like I've said it before and I'll say it again. Ukraine can't win. Like they can't win. I don't think the world. I mean, China understands. India understands. Like I think Turkey understands, but like the West and Ukrainians, they don't understand that Ukraine can't win. Either Ukraine concedes to Russia's terms, which have not changed, by the way. Everything Russia's demanding is what they were demanding before any lives were taken. So Russia hasn't asked for anything that they didn't want to avoid this conflict. They're just asking for the same stuff they asked for 8 years ago. They're asking for, like today, same stuff that they wanted 8 years ago. And if those demands aren't met, and too many Russian soldiers die, and Russian military operation starts to lose, they will just bomb everything. They will bomb everything. They will bomb Kiev. They will. I mean, I don't think they need to throw a nuke, and I don't think they would, because it's too close to Russia. But this effort by Putin and Russia to spare as many civilians as possible, and I know that effort is failing, civilians are dying, but the effort to spare as many civilians as possible will eventually end. So the moment Ukraine is actually winning, there will be an order from the Kremlin. That's it. We're no longer gonna try to spare civilians. And they're just gonna destroy everything, because people in the West still have not realized that Ukraine having NATO is an existential threat that threatens the entire country of Russia. Like, it threatens Russian existence. That's how they see it. Like, Ukraine just can't win. I'm sorry to give you the unfortunate news. And if you care about, the lives of Ukrainian civilians, Ukraine needs to agree to those Russian demands, because eventually they're gonna get fed up, and they're just gonna, like turn Kiev into Hiroshima, and they can do it without the nuclear weapon. I'm, I'm surprised. That's all Russia is asking for. I really am. I'm surprised. That's all they're asking for. No. That's the thing, right? I see your statement, Henry. Some Ukrainians just want to see Russia destroyed, even if it means millions of Ukrainian deaths, unfortunately. No, it's more than that. I would rephrase your statement. Some Ukrainians want to see Russia destroyed, even if it means 1 billion people dead by Russia and America nuking each other. Good job staying away from politics. Yeah, I tried. So if I tell my neighbor not to join the HOA and they decide to, I can invade their home. If you have the support of Putin and the Russian military, yeah, probably you can. Probably you can. See, the problem is if you invade your neighbor's home, the police will show up and throw you in prison. If you pay off the police, the FBI can show up and throw you in prison. If you pay off the FBI, the NSA and the CIA can show up and throw you in prison. If you pay them off, another country can show up. Do you see how there is someone with a bigger gun than you? But right now in Eastern Europe, no one has a bigger gun than Putin and Russia. Like, why are you comparing yourself to someone like Vladimir Putin? Like this is the, this is the arrogance of the people in the West. This is the arrogance of Americans, where just because a president of the second strongest military in the world gets to do something, it means that you have the same privilege. I'm sorry, D3L74. You do not personally command the second biggest military in the world. So as much as you might want to invade your friend's home, if he doesn't pay the HOA fees, you just don't have the military strength to force him not to join. I'm looking at your comments, guys. Tone, large majority of Ukrainians don't want to be dragged back to the USSR. No, they do. They do. They're joining the European Union, which is the new version of the USSR. Yes, they do. By joining the European Union, by joining the World Economic Forum, by joining this Marxist organization led by the biggest Marxist in the world, Klaus Schwab, Ukrainians are going right into socialism with Europe. They want to be independent. No. If they wanted to be independent, they would have been independent, and they would have told NATO to go to hell, because having NATO will get all of us Ukrainians killed. No. Ukraine wasn't interested in being independent. They had a chance to be independent. Being scared that Russia is going to bring back the Soviet Union and being wrong for 30 years. It's been 30 years since the Soviet Union collapsed. Russia has not taken over a single country in 30 years. They haven't. This fear by Ukrainians that Russia is gonna, take them over. Russia will take over Ukraine if they completely destroy every single city. If they turn every single city into Hiroshima, then they will take it. Who else is going to rebuild it? It's not going to be Europe. That $500 million that the US is sending to Ukraine is just going into some politician's pocket. It's not actually going to go to the people. Russia invading is precisely why Ukraine wanted to join. No, Russia's invading because Ukraine joined NATO. This is not a chicken and egg situation. Again, Ukraine and Republic of Georgia had a fear that Russia is going to take them over, and they made their fear come true by joining NATO. Tone, did you know that the Queen owns all UK property and can legally claim it back at any time? Probably. You guys, you don't own your property. The government can always take away your property. The question is, how good are the laws in your country for that to be as difficult as possible? It's very difficult for the American government to take away your land. It's easier for the Russian government to take away your land. It's a lot easier for the Chinese government to take away your land. And it's easier for the UK government to take away your land than the American government. It's all a matter of perspective. The only thing you truly own is Bitcoin. If you hold a private key in your head, that's the only thing you really own. You don't really own anything else. Either way, Russia is wrong and lives are being taken because of Putin. Sure. Okay, but saying that 1,000 times a day is not going to solve the situation. Trump ain't coming back in 2024. I think the chances of Ukraine winning this war is higher than Trump being president in 2024. Trump was removed as president for a reason. The people that removed Trump as president will not let Trump win again. Trump surprised everyone in 2016. If they had thought that Trump had a 5% chance to win, they would have sabotaged Trump and had Hillary be president. Trump ain't winning. What are my thoughts on a CFA? I mean, is it worth it to get your CFA certificate? I don't think so. I never got my CFA. A bunch of people around me got their CFA and their FRM and their Kaya. And I'm like, nah, screw that. I got a master's in financial engineering. I'm not studying anymore. I'm done with that nonsense. I don't think you need it. Can you compare this with the Cuban Missile Crisis? Well, I don't think the United States went shooting killing Cubans. I don't know. I need to read out my history of the Cuban Missile Crisis. I don't think it escalated that far. That's the thing, right? You see, when the United States went apeshit over Russia putting missiles in Cuba, smart people that run governments in the 60s solved the problem by removing Russian missiles from Turkey. You see, sorry, American missiles from Turkey. America put missiles in Turkey. That pissed off Russia. Russia went to put missiles in Cuba. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But then, instead of to avoid war that could lead to nuclear war, Russia did not put their missiles in Cuba, but America removed their missiles from Turkey. Why didn't anyone on this planet took the Russian threat seriously? Can someone answer me one simple question? Why didn't any global leader from the Western Hemisphere, any of them, UK, France, Germany, America, Canada, Australia, anybody, why didn't anyone take the Russian threat seriously for 7 years? 7 years. They ignored Russia's concern and threat to do just this because of NATO. I like Turkey. As a tourist, I wouldn't live there. I like your answer. One, well, I can't even read your your username. Because they wanted it. I agree. I agree. The West wanted a war between Ukraine and Russia. I agree. The West wanted it, and here we are. The West has wanted to destabilize Russia for crazy paranoid reasons. The West has wanted to destabilize Russia for a long time. And for the last 20 years, since Putin came to power, since the day Putin came to power the first time, the West has wanted to destabilize Russia. And their final option to destabilize Russia was death of Ukrainians. And here we are. And here we are. I'm sure Putin is very stressed right now from his, peers of how many Russian soldiers are dying, and that he's only demanding the same stuff he was demanding before the conflict. So if there is an overthrow of Putin, it's going to be an overthrow not by the people, but by other members of the Russian, party. There's only one party, and he will be replaced by someone who cares a lot less about Ukrainian civilians than Putin does. What are my thoughts on renouncing US citizenship? I have been thinking about it almost every single day. Socrates is doing very well. He came to unconfiscatable. He's trading again. Socrates is doing great. I need to go visit him, have some steaks in Colorado. No. There could be. There could definitely be an overthrow of Putin, but it's not going to be by the people. And replace Putin with, say, Hunter Biden. That's not going to happen, right? Or a Hillary Clinton. That's not going to happen. So if there is a replacement of Putin, I'm telling you, it's going to be someone that hates the Ukrainian people a lot more than Putin does. All right, guys. I already talked way more about, well, look at the price of the ruble. The ruble actually spiked to appreciation versus the beginning of the conflict. This is the beginning of conflict line. Wait, yeah, this is the beginning of conflict line. This is where we are right now. We are coming up on an MRI buy, so MRI bottom. So ruble could devalue for a minute, but this is some serious strength in the ruble. Some serious strength in the ruble here. Tells you what's really going on the ground. Tone, imagine having to give up 2 passports in one lifetime. Yeah, that's true. I gave up my Russian passport a long time ago. I can't get that back even if I wanted to. Not saying I want to, but I can't get that back even if I did want to. And if I give up my US passport, I'll never be able to get that back either. So. All right, guys, time to get going. Thank you all so much for watching. And I will see you all, guys. Watch the videos, watch the links in the video description. I have a lot of links in the video description. Okay, there's a lot there. Check those out, and I will be putting them together in an article, probably, I don't know, after the Miami conference. Oh, the Miami conference. I am going to be speaking in Miami, Bitcoin. Come find me there. There's going to be a lot of people. I will be there all week. I will be in Miami on Sunday, and I'm staying in Miami for over a week. I'm speaking at several events. I'm going to speak at Shitcoin 2022. I'm not speaking at Bitcoin 2022, but I will be there. I think they gave me a pass. Shout out to Bitcoin Magazine for hooking me up with the press pass. And so I will be at that event. And then there's an event following that event. I think it's like Blockchain 2022 or something. So I'm speaking there. So I'm speaking at several events. I'm going to attend some dinners. So you guys can find me there. All right. Thank you all so much.